Detroit Become Human. I just got done playing the game yesterday. I still can't stop thinking about it, honestly. The game had me crying, laughing, screaming at the screen, all the emotions. I still find myself thinking about those characters as if they're just living somewhere, living out there even after the game is done. In this game, you play as three characters mainly: Connor, Kara, and Markus. I'll be telling you guys how I played them. I basically picked a character profile for each of them, an archetype, if you will, and I stuck to them until the end. I made every single decision based on how those characters would act. If you're someone who writes stories, you would know this. You build a character and then you make decisions based on how those characters would act. The story almost writes itself. And I'm pretty happy with all of the decisions I made in the game, except one, which I'll talk about when we get to it. That one decision I regret a lot. In fact, I'm still upset about it. Now, before I start talking about these characters and the stories that I played through, I should tell you that the game is going to be very different based on how you play the game. Depending on the choices you make, the story will be very different compared to mine. I'll also tell you that I'll be using the word deviant a lot. In this game, deviant is a word used to describe androids or robots that act human-like or express human-like emotions. So they're deviating from their programmed purpose, hence deviants. Let's start with Connor. Connor is essentially the poster boy of this game. If you have seen any marketing material, you might have seen Connor. Connor is an android made to hunt other androids, especially deviants. His job is to catch deviants and analyze why deviancy happens in androids. He is assigned to deviant cases alongside a veteran detective called Hank, who happens to hate androids. But as the two of them work together, Connor slowly learns the past of Hank, comes to understand why Hank hates androids, and Hank starts to see Connor as more than a cold robot, and they develop this weird sense of friendship that neither of them can really explain. As he's investigating cases alongside Hank, as he's talking to more deviants, he himself starts to question his own identity. He is in denial for a long time because how could he be the very thing he was made to hunt? And while he is in this existential crisis, he discovers the base of a rebel group of androids who have declared war on humans. So he hunts them down and finds their leader, Markus. We'll talk more about how Markus got there, but for now, he finds him and points a gun at him and is about to pull the trigger when Markus asks him a question which unravels all the lines of code that held him together, and he breaks free. Connor is now a free man. Imagine you wake up in a store, you don't know anybody, you don't recognize anything, your memory is empty. You are shown an unknown man and you are told that he is your new owner. He takes you to his house, which looks like it's in need of desperate maintenance. And as soon as you enter the house, he tells you to clean the house and take care of his daughter, Alice. Alice is like a scared rabbit. She is moving around the house, she is hiding in corners, all the while looking at you, cautiously but with care, like there is a past that you don't remember. And while you are doing the chores, you try to talk to Alice because after all, it is your job to take care of her. And while she is scared, she does share her memories with you in the form of some drawings. You take a look at those drawings and continue with your chores and set up dinner. And at dinner time, it all starts to make sense. The father, not only drunk on beer, but also power, starts to hurt Alice right in front of your eyes. Something in you snaps. Before you understand what is happening, you start to feel this welling emotion of responsibility, this tsunami crashing against your circuits, telling you to protect her, telling you to disobey the commands and do something. Now, to disobey commands for androids is not easy. It takes a lot of effort and willpower to be able to do it. But then you take one look at Alice's eyes that have fear and pain in them, and it is unbearable to watch. You break free of those commands and shield her from her dad, and you run away together. Your goal is not grandiose. Your goal is not to free all the androids. Your goal is simple: protect Alice by any means necessary. And that one emotion drives everything you do. In the end, you are a scared mother looking after a scared child. You are scared for her safety and your own. Because if something happened to you, who will look after Alice? And you promised her that you will stay together forever. And promises are to be kept. To feel scared is natural. But what Kara has is courage. Achieving what you need to achieve despite the fear. Remember that one decision I regretted earlier? At a specific point in the story, you have to make a choice about running away with Alice. And I made the wrong choice, which led to them getting captured, both Kara and Alice. And it hurt me. It hurts me even now thinking about it. Not because I got the wrong ending or I did not play optimally. It felt like I'm making Kara and Alice suffer because of my incompetence, because of the choices I made. I know they're digital characters, but it hurt nonetheless. Now let's talk about Markus, our third main lead. You find yourself in a mansion caring for Carl, an old painter who treats you like his own son, unlike other humans in society. Day after day, you look after him, take care of his chores, help him, and on one day, he hands you his paintbrush and says, "Paint." And you do. You look at a subject and then you paint. It almost looks like a photograph, a perfect replica of the subject. Carl doesn't look happy. He says, "That is not what art is." He asks you to close your eyes and paint what you feel. Then you paint something that is not a perfect replica, but it has something that the previous painting was lacking, a soul. And then Carl smiles and then you move on with your day. One day when you're coming home with Carl, you find that the studio doors are open. You are an android. An android does not make mistakes. You remember that you locked all the doors before leaving. That could only mean someone broke into the house. So you ask Carl to stay back for safety, and then you walk into the studio to see what is happening. And there you find someone punching over a table, rolling up Carl's paintings, supposedly to steal them. It was his son, his actual son, who would occasionally visit to ask for money to fuel his habits. And because of those habits, Carl had cut him off. Now things escalate. Carl and his son get into an argument and he diverts his attention towards you, starts to push you, starts to yell at you, get in your face. Something happens. Was it a glitch? Was it a bug? Who knows? You push him back. Unfortunately, that push becomes a fall. He hits his head and goes unconscious. Now, before you could process what is happening, you hear the police step into the house. Carl tells you to run away for your own safety, but it is too late. The police enter the studio and they see the scene. An old man crying over his son and an android standing next to them. They spare no thought about what happened, and without any hesitation, they open fire at you. No questions asked, no investigation done, judged, juried, and executed on the spot. Afforded none of the rights that a human would have had if they were in your spot. And the next thing you know, you wake up in a scrapyard next to other disposed androids. Somehow, you are still functional. So you scavenge parts from other androids. On your way out, an android stops you and gives you a clue for a safe haven for deviant androids. So you follow it because you have nowhere else to go. And when you reach it, you find androids living in hiding, waiting to shut down, slowly deteriorating due to lack of maintenance or needing repairs. You look at them living in hiding, suffering. You look at what happened with you, executed on site. You think of all the androids you found in the scrapyard alongside you, and then you think, this ends now. Why do we have to live like this? To be used and abused and thrown away when they are done with us? Why are we not afforded any rights? Are our lives worth nothing? The anger in you starts to rise. The blood starts to boil. If they will not give us our rights, we will take them by force if necessary. You will take the fuel of hope that all these androids have and turn that into the fire of revolution, because an uprising needs to happen. So you start raiding factories for parts so all these androids can be repaired and maintained. And along the way, you meet North and Josh, some of your dearest friends, and they couldn't be more different from each other. North becomes your partner in everything: crime, life, love. Josh disagrees with you on basically everything, but you wish no harm on him. If anything, if there were to be a martyr in this war, you wish it would be you and nobody else. But you know that is unlikely. Many will die on your side, but you also know that many will live and they will live free, and that is what matters. So you declare war on humans. You are not naive, you are not unreasonable, but you are determined. If blood is going to be spilled, it is going to be spilled on both sides, because you would rather die free than live as a slave. You know not everybody agrees. You know that people think that this is immoral, but you also know that morality is something only people with freedom can afford. You're not fighting this war for your own ego. You're fighting this war to show your people that we are not powerless. Even if they get rid of you, you have done what you set out to do. You have shown your people that it is possible because freedom is inevitable. Those are the overall storylines I went with, but I won't go too deep into exactly what happens because that is something for you to discover when you play the game. What I actually wanted was for Connor to step up almost against Markus as a more reasonable choice for humans to talk to. Not as an enemy, but as the better option. Someone who would fight for the rights of Android in the right way. Because if humanity is backed into a corner to either give in to Markus or go to war, they will go to war. But if given a choice between Markus, Connor, or war, I believe they would pick Connor. And ideally, Markus would then disappear, retire off into the woods, live his life in penance of the sins he has committed. In my mind, the perfect ending would have been if Markus and North left together, never to be found again, and with Connor stepping up as the new leader. In my mind, all of them, Chloe, Kara, Alice, Markus, Connor, I believe all of them are living somewhere out there, free of your control. That's Detroit Become Human. Go play it.